Okay.
Yeah, can't get rid of us that easily.
Yeah.
So this week's movie, my selection was Gandhi, which is a 1982 Richard Attenborough film. And as I was researching this movie and looking at the different actors and the director and everything else about this, every single person I looked at has massive accomplishments in the British film and stage industry. This was a monster project. And it was actually, they tried to start it much earlier, but it didn't get off the ground. I think Nehru had given permission for it. And finally, Richard Attenborough got it. He had bought some, or he had some share in a theater production somewhere along the line where he made a pot. I think it was, what was the longest running, Mousetrap. He was in the Mousetrap and it ran for the
Forever.
longest time ever of any stage production. He had a little share of that. He said it was the best business investment he ever had, but he sold part of it to open a restaurant and he sold the rest of it to keep Gandhi going. So I think he self-financed a certain amount of this. Anyway, he's a giant in the industry on his own and really put a lot of effort into getting this story made. The movie was released in 1982 and it received massive approval, and it was one of the biggest selling movies ever in India, and was popular in England and in the United States. I think it cost $22 million, which to me seemed like not very much money for the scope of this movie, but it made about $127 million worldwide. Was one of the highest earning movies, as I said, in India. I was interested, I didn't realize that Ben Kingsley had an Indian father. And his father, I think, taught at Cambridge or someplace, and he came up through that and went through some very high level English theater training, was on the stage as well as being a movie actor. And I think he had not had a lot of movie roles before he did Gandhi, but he got Best Actor for this. He's been a lot of other awards have been heaped upon him. Maybe not as many as Richard Attenborough, but so I'm sure that when this project came up, there was just incredible enthusiasm and excitement for it because it's such a great story. It revolves around Gandhi as a character who was involved in trying to get the British Empire out of first South Africa and then India. And he was very sly about how he did this. He was a pacifist. He was not about violence. He was about achieving things through witnessing as his own values came through, and the especially the Indian continent took that to heart. He had a huge task ahead of him, not just dealing with the British, but dealing with the various religious groups in India, Muslim and Hindu specifically, but everybody else who was there as well. And he was able to, through a variety of things, unite those people and get them all together to oppose English rule and to demonstrate to the English government that, in fact, India was ready to be independent. And the English people, the English leaders also made the point that this is not one India, this is Muslim India, this is Hindu India, this is Christian India, etc. And that was a fairly strong point, but Gandhi won the day with some very loyal associates, Nehru and a variety of other people. But there was definitely friction, and there were some horrendous scenes like that massacre of the Indians at one point was earth-shaking, but it was a turning point. It was a place where his approach to life could be manifest as saying, look, we don't do this kind of thing, and this is what we're dealing with. So in terms of bad reputation and bad press and everything else, he really got the English back on their heels and eventually was able to bring things forward. Um, I don't know how I can't say anything about this movie that really gives it justice. It was huge. And all the acting parts were very good. I thought it was really good. I felt like I was lucky to have recommended it. So I'll turn it over to everybody else. Hope you liked it.
A couple comments. I just looked up. I wasn't sure whether Richard Attenborough was related to David, but they're brothers.
Yeah, yeah, pretty powerful family.
And
Yeah.
then I thought for the length of the movie, which I didn't mind, I thought it was edited really crisply. I mean,
Mhm.
it moved right along. I mean, the week before or the meeting before, as a lot of us thought it kind of drug out, but this one was boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I think it won cinematography too at the
Yeah.
Oscars. So
How
it
many
was,
did it win? Do you know, Jeff?
um, let me look real quick here.
I
There's
think it
a,
was 8.
Eight.
yeah,
Yeah.
the list of awards is incredible. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Best editing, best costume design, best cinematography, best art direction, screenplay, actor, director, and picture.
Wow.
And that's just the Oscars.
Wow.
You know, it won British Film Academy Awards. It won the British Society of Cinematographers. You know, Directors Guild of America. It just won even the Kansas City Critics Circle awarded Ben Kingsley the
Even
best
them.
actor.
See?
And
Not
and
happening.
yeah, Los Angeles, Ben Kingsley won best actor. I mean, the list is huge.
Yeah.
Well, and that the guy who played the pastor, the priest, I don't know what he was, who ended up leaving because it was time for him to go. And I can't remember what island group he went to.
Yeah,
PG.
Yeah,
that's right.
but he won a bunch in Chariots of Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty much your all-star cast.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, I think
And
you're asking about Mirabin earlier. Her name is Geraldine James. She's an English actress, worked
Right.
extensively in TV and stage. She was in the Netflix series Anne with an E, and is Queen Mary in Downton Abbey.
That's where.
Queen Mary?
Oh, yeah.
Queen Mary.
Queen.
Queen.
Hmm.
Yeah, so pick any actor here. They're amazing.
Sure.
Martin Sheen had an interesting little part early in the film.
Oh, yes.
Daniel Day-Lewis plays the guy on the sidewalk whose mother yells at him for not getting to work.
Yes.
And I don't think he was in anything else, but that, talk about people that went on to have pretty fabulous careers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting right at the first, the credits for Nehru and for Lord Mountbatten, basically said the film wouldn't have been made without without their success. And of course, Mountbatten's the late Queen's uncle.
Mhm.
So, sort of like it had the approval of the British government to be made.
Right. And this was a combined English and Indian production. The two countries collaborated to make this happen.
What
Which
was
is
the date of it
interesting.
again?
Say again?
80,
82?
82.
That's it. I was reading it's been compared to like Lawrence of Arabia and Dr. Zhivago for having that sort of that epic historic themes, and yet very much a human story within, a strong human story within the big epic
Yeah.
production.
Yeah. I love the way it, obviously it's second or third time maybe I saw it. And when I think of a best picture, this is exactly what I think of. It's just an amazing film. Just the opening scene when you see his funeral and the people, and it sets it up for how important he was. All the people in that scene, it's just amazing. To me, it was just one of those scenes that just set the tone of how much of an influence this man was. And it was great. I mean, you can pick out scenes. I was thinking of all the wonderful scenes there were in this that were so beyond anything you would probably seen before. Like you were saying, Jeff, the massacre scene, it was just heart-wrenching. And what I kept on in my head was going, looking at, of course, King, King and his nonviolent and peaceful civil disobedience. So I thought it was great. I still think it's great. Everything about it, especially Kingsley. If you didn't get to know who Gandhi was by the end of it, then you weren't paying attention. And I know that he's had some, there were some problems with people that had done his biography and saying it wasn't quite, I don't know. I just thought it was a great film to pick, and it was a great film all the way around. I just really enjoyed it.
You
So
say his
was the-
biography, do you mean Gandhi himself or do you mean Ben Kingsley?
Gandhi himself, the biography, there was some that I had read somewhere that some of the biographers said that this movie wasn't as accurate as it could be. Okay.
Okay.
So,
So
yeah,
was
so
that the
I-
basis
yeah,
for
I
the
had read
movie?
it was historically quite accurate.
Yeah, well, I had read that at Wikipedia, but then there was like a side notes that had said that there were some people that said it wasn't. It was historical, but they forgot about a
There
lot
he
of
is.
things.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike, hey.
Hey,
Hey, you made it after Monday.
I did. I forgot to set my clock ahead.
Oh.
Guess what? Nobody liked this movie.
Yeah.
I was glad you're here so you could give me a hard time, Mahoney, because I guess I didn't realize that Pakistan was a majority Muslim country and India majority Hindu country.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've fought several wars over that.
Yeah, I knew that, but I never knew the religious side of it. I didn't know what
Yeah,
their
it's more of a religious fight than Northern Ireland. It truly is.
it's not a sovereign fight. It's
Not territory.
No,
Yeah.
no. Religion. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and you get Pakistan out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
correct.
Right.
Donna, your comment about Martin Luther King, surely King studied Gandhi
Absolutely.
as the foundation of his approach to change.
Yeah, absolutely. You can kind of just see it. And I was also thinking that, Gandhi pretty much set up his whole what do I want to say? The way he got his message out is that he had, people that were basing everything on truth, and all the Indians who had suffered would know the truth. So he was getting it through the newspapers and all that, the truth. And I was thinking that today you'd have social media to deal with, and dealing with social media, it changes the whole idea of a grassroots movement, because it's social media, it has all the propaganda and all the various sides and all that. And so that was just another thing that I thought, wow. I thought, well, you could never get another grassroots movement like that going. And then I saw Bernie and AOC this week at where were they in Colorado, and they got like 34,000 people or something. So maybe not, maybe that we can get a grassroots movement going.
Yeah, Bernie said, I've done a lot of rallies. I've never done one that big.
Yeah, yeah. And I thought that was, and you know, there's no, it's just, you know, it's just what's happening in it. And it seems to be working.
Well, to be honest, that's not, I don't think that's quite true, Donna, from the standpoint that the Tea Party movement was very much a grass movement.
Yeah, that's true.
But
But that was before social media too.
Well, not really. I mean, social media was around, and
Well.
the Tea Party movement certainly took advantage of it. But I mean, so grassroots movements just aren't on the left politically.
Oh, no, I didn't mean that. I mean, it's just, I think it would be harder now. That's why I was thinking after seeing the movie and then going, well, and doing it now could be harder because of the social media, because you get so much propaganda and
Lies.
the lies, yeah. That that's the hard part. When I was when I was on that cruise, they had MSNBC and Fox right next to each other. So I was really able to go back, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it was amazing to me how the news is not the news. I mean, I knew it, but this one was so clear that the news of the day wasn't even told on Fox at all. I mean, it was minutia that they were talking about. So that's why I said it would be so hard, I think, to get a grasp. But you're right. I look at Bernie and AOC now, and I go, grassroots, and it's big. So I guess hopefully we can.
Well, one of the ways that that Gandhi sort of pulled India together, in addition to the he reached out and said, different faiths, we still have a united goal, that idea, but was also through a boycott, boycotting all foreign manufactured goods, and it was effective.
And the salt,
but there were other things that happened too. For example, in England or in the UK, English, Scottish, Welsh, soldiers didn't want to serve anymore in India. And so the military there then became mostly Indians, where before it had been mostly English. So there were certain things that sort of worked in Gandhi's favor as well. But not, and I don't say that to diminish his impact. He definitely had a huge impact. Not the least of which was the fact that he wanted to get rid of the whole untouchables aspect. That tolerance became not just egalitarian but tolerance as well, and then self-reliance. So his message pretty powerful.
Yeah, and Karen, even his manner of dress, the movie shifts pretty quickly from a very buttoned down British attorney, and now he is dressing as we know him to dress. And his comment that, well, I can't lead, in effect, I can't lead them if I don't dress like they do.
Yeah.
And he sewed his own clothes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, eventually.
We did.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I wonder how he had those very effective fasts, his hunger strikes, but it affected the whole country. How did they get the word out in the early 50s or late 40s, whenever it was, to India on that scale to get everybody to stop doing the stupid stuff they were doing? There was not mass media at that point. I know there were newspapers and things, but that
I wondered about that too. I mean, I don't know, but I would think that not all of them could read either. So maybe it's just word of mouth or something.
Yeah.
Well, but there's certainly a strong suggestion that newspapers played a pretty critical role in that, and Jeff, you're
And
probably
radio in
right,
the 40s was
was a big deal.
pretty strong. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I suspect radio in India was
Yeah.
probably controlled
Indian.
pretty closely by the British government.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But there was
Another
that one
thought
scene
that
when the
is-
6 or 7 of them were together and they were reading the newspaper and something had happened, and one of the characters said, "And now the world will know it." So between that and churches and that sort of medium, it obviously happened during the one scene where he was in a hunger strike and he was throwing up, and then Nehru came in and told him basically that this hunger strike had worked and people were not now challenging the British. I thought
Right.
in effect saying, you got to start eating.
Yeah. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
There,
Do you think
there
that
were-
would work? Go ahead, Bill.
There were a lot of powerful scenes in there, but I thought like one of the most powerful was when they were court-martialing the guy who shot up the crowd. Would they say 1,500 people were casualties at least? And I don't know, to me, like that scene showed where a real shift happened, and
Oh,
mass
that
media
was a turning point. Yeah.
definitely played a part in that, and it's just so interesting that, saying you shot into the crowd and you didn't think that was wrong. And he said, no, I thought it was going to send a message. And the rest of them are just looking at him in disbelief. And, he's like so typical of what some in the military are like, But
Bill, that actor, I think his name is Edward Fox, and he had a pretty central role in A Bridge Too Far. And in Gandhi, he plays this real hard ass, I'm going to send a message. And in A Bridge Too Far, he's riding in a Jeep reviewing all the troops that are getting ready to go out on Operation Market Garden. And he plays a real joke. I mean, he was a general, or maybe even a field marshal, I don't know, but in that scene, he was a very jovial, bucking everybody up with good humor. So it was interesting just in that particular character to see that dichotomy.
yeah, so many of them looked familiar, didn't they?
Yes.
You guys think a hunger strike would work today for anybody?
Yeah, absolutely it would.
Yeah.
You think?
Absolutely would. It would spread like wildfire through social media.
Yeah, but would it work? Would it be effective?
Yeah, I think it
Everyone would be taking Wegovy.
well,
or-
it would depend on where it was. If it was an extremely authoritarian country, maybe not. I'm trying to remember the.
No, not here.
Oh, didn't the Russian guy?
Yeah, that's the guy who
Oh, Navalny.
Remember
Yeah,
his
Navalny.
name.
Yeah, Navalny. He went on a hunger strike.
that's right.
Right. There were members of the IRA that went on a hunger strike in the mid-70s, and that was actually a very effective strike. I think 3 of them died.
They were in jail, right, Mike?
They were in jail.
Well,
But-
and Dick Gregory in our country did.
Yeah,
hunger
exactly.
strikes,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I think, or at least seems like pretty regularly.
Who's Dick Gregory?
Comedian
Black comedian.
and
The young
political
whippersnapper.
activist.
Yeah, he was an activist.
It was a 60s, 70s thing.
He was he got
He was
his
a comedian.
yeah he was a well-known comedian, and then he took his comedy act into the civil rights movement and then other social action.
And he did a bunch of movies with Gene Wilder.
Hmm.
Dick Gregory did.
Are you?
Dick
I think,
Gregory?
Are you?
Like the red dress
No,
and
you're
the-
thinking about Pryor.
Richard
Oh,
Pryor.
yeah, I am thinking.
Yeah, yeah. I was
Yeah.
like,
You know who Richard Pryor is?
I do. Yeah.
Dick Gregory. Yeah, I guess it was Dick Gregory that did all the hunger strikes.
And women went on hunger strike, the women in to get the vote when
That's
they
right.
were,
Suffrage.
yeah,
That was
suffrage.
before my time.
Yeah,
That
well,
was before our
before
time.
our time too, but
I want to ask, why do you think Attenborough put the assassination scene right at the front of the movie? What did he
Well-
accomplish with that? I didn't understand that. It was very, I mean, the impact was huge, but then the whole movie was backstory after that.
yeah. Well, I thought that was pretty powerful because it set the tone. It's like you knew this man, and how maybe this is a question. How many people really knew about Gandhi before this movie? I mean, everyone knew about him, but really knew the backstory or any of that. I don't know.
Probably not many.
Yeah, that's my guess. And so I think when I thought it set the tone because it said this man had, look at this crowds. This man had such an impact on this country. And this is what, at least that's what I thought. I just kind of set the tone that this man had so much impact and here's why. And then, flashback.
Well, it seems like in either late elementary or early junior high, I mean, Gandhi was India. I mean,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah,
what we knew.
he died in 1948. I feel like, I almost feel like I felt like he was alive when I was, like you said, in junior high school. I thought he was around because he was talked about a lot.
Well, and his political party was still ruling India, and in fact,
And his daughter, Indira Gandhi.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was just about to say it. His daughter, Indira Gandhi, became the leader, the prime minister of India, and was
That's right.
the leader for quite a few years.
Yeah, she kept the name famous and in the public. Don't you think? I mean, that's a big reason why everybody's so aware of him.
Yeah, well, to John's point on this, in TV, there's this old saying. It's not an old saying. It's very active, that you lead with your best video. And the thing about Gandhi's assassination was it was a very shocking event that a lot of people who grew up with him or during his life, would remember that, and B, it was a dramatic event. So it was something that could grab the audiences, and so it made sense from that standpoint to me.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
living
kind of
at-
this you know that he got, who he is because he got assassinated, but do you know this about him?
Right.
Yeah.
I looked up the guy's name, which I forget now, but he was a kind of a right-wing Hindu nationalist, but
that killed
that,
him.
yeah, but I'm not sure what exactly his beef was. It didn't really say in Wikipedia. Does anybody know why he, I guess he tried to kill him 2 other times before that.
Jeez.
The same guy.
He was in the crowd in several scenes. After you
Yeah.
saw the first scene, you could pick him out
Yeah.
later on, so you knew he was there.
Yeah, he was the guy who yelled death to Gandhi that time.
Yeah.
Well, I think he wanted to be a sticks and stones guy against the Hindus or the Muslims.
Right.
I think that's right.
Yeah, didn't like the
The
peaceful.
nonviolence.
Yeah,
and
nonviolence.
peace
Yeah.
between the two of them. Yeah.
But way to go, Jeff, for looking it up.
Yeah.
Very good.
They killed him too, put him to death the next year.
Yeah, it's not too many movies that start with the ending. I mean, there's a few.
Evita, didn't Evita start that
Yeah,
way?
there's a few.
I think.
I think there are more than just Pakistan has been split off from India to become Muslim states. What's their
Bangladesh. split
Yeah.
off
Yeah.
from Pakistan.
Yeah. And still some of their cities, you know, they're pretty mixed populations and stuff. Don't they have trouble down on the East Coast of it where they were blowing up hotels like 20 years ago? You remember that? Where the terrorists were there in India blowing up hotels, and there's all sorts of problems still. But it was right to keep it together.
Well, yeah, it wasn't too many years ago where Pakistan and India almost started another war. There've been several of them since 1948, and the problem is they're both nuclear states.
Here, yeah, that's the
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah, that's the scary
You
part.
know, they don't seem to. The fear is that they wouldn't have the control that maybe a Western nation would have about dropping even a small atomic weapon on their enemy.
Has anybody been, I have, been to the Victoria and Albert Museum in London? You know, when you know, the British Raj started during Victoria's rule, and she was dubbed the Empress of India, and there's just a lot of really cool artifacts and portraits and all kinds of things at the V&A to see around that. There's it's huge. I mean, bigger than life size portrait of her dressed in all of her Indian regalia as the Empress of India.
I haven't.
Wasn't there a movie, Karen? Wasn't there a
Oh,
movie?
yeah.
Something and something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very-
It's about Victoria, you know, and I think, and it was a Muslim
It was,
gentleman.
he was, but her son, it's interesting to say that because I've been there, but I don't remember. Her son, Victoria's son, after she died, ended up, no, again, this is the movie. I don't know if this is accurate, but supposedly he took all of the stuff that had anything to do with India and burned it all.
No,
found
that
this
wouldn't
stuff
be accurate
later.
because there's so much there at the V&A about her, you know, that during that period. So, I mean, maybe letters or that sort of thing, but I don't know.
Hmm.
It's worthwhile if you find yourself there.
Oh, yeah.
For the
Oh, yeah.
V&A.
I was just curious, did they show us Indira in any of this? Did
Probably as a young girl.
Yeah.
He had a couple of granddaughters there.
Yeah, I remember granddaughters, I thought. Maybe they were daughters.
Maybe.
I didn't know
yeah.
if she didn't give her permission to be in the movie or something like that for some reason, or her estate.
Hey, Gary.
Hey, there.
Hi. You may be the only member of the group here that's actually been to India.
Yeah, really.
Well, his presence is everywhere there, and there are lots of he lived in lots of different places. So you'll find places where he, you know, had a room. He never really had much. It wasn't very elaborate. He always had a mattress on the floor or something like that. But his presence is everywhere there, and in other places in the world too.
Gandhi slept here.
Like
Yeah.
George Washington.
Exactly. Yeah.
Uh,
How's everybody doing?
Good.
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 I wonder how he got to be so wise. He just was born that way, or he was a lawyer, right? Trained
Mhm.
trained
He
in
was a
London.
great speaker, that's for sure.
He was a strategist too. I mean,
Yeah.
the English guys, John Gielgud was struggling to figure out what he's going to do next
Yes.
and how he was going to. Should I put him in jail? Should I not put him in jail? Should we shoot him? Should we not shoot him? What should we do with this guy? He is slippery and
Yeah.
he knows what he's doing. He's not a goofball. He's really is a very worthwhile or worthy adversary for our agenda. And he did it in such a basic way. I also like the humor that Gandhi had in various places. He would kind of make a little offhanded comment here or there and pat people on the back and just, took everything. He's like, I'm taking this easy, but I'm gonna keep pushing this as far as I can.
Well, I think his ultimate play was, I don't care if I die.
Yeah,
But
Right.
that's what it takes. And when you take that, gambit away from somebody, then they hold, they hold you forever hold the upper hand. If you
Mhm.
kill me, that will even have a bigger impact than whatever you can do to me, when I'm alive. And I don't
Well,
think,
and the conversation of the British leaders of the time, whatever you do, we're not gonna, we're not gonna shoot him, we're not gonna kill him. I'm not gonna another one said, I'm not gonna make a martyr of him.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But
Yes,
they
he was
kept throwing him in jail.
inexorable.
Mhm.
So sorry, Jeff, I stole your vocabulary.
you can have the moment. That's a great word. Inscrutable as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what ground you covered, but I think it won for Best Picture, won for Best Costume, Best Actor. I think it was nominated for 11 and won 8 or something like that.
So we
That's
went
right.
through that just a
Yeah.
while
And
ago.
and from a business point of view, cost 20 million and made 220 million.
127 million
Yeah,
worldwide gross, and it cost 22 to make.
yeah, that's not a
Richard
bad trade.
Attenborough actually cashed in some of his assets to keep the project going at some point.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
there's some,
Gary, if you'd have been able to be here on time, we've covered all of this.
Wait, don't let him do that to you. I was late too.
okay. But my point is, it's it's a great story about a humble person, but it was huge box office. I mean, there was
Yeah.
plenty
Epic.
that Hollywood liked about it too.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was
yeah,
a
I
must
think
see.
127 million was pretty big dough back then. That was
Yeah.
a pretty big box office.
Yeah, and now it's just pocket change. I mean,
Right. That's what it takes to
That's a
make it.
weekend.
Yeah.
surrounding error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one comic book movie.
Yeah. Where's Chris?
California.
California.
Oh, with Terry.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Have you heard
How's he
from her?
doing?
I talked to him a week ago and he sounded great.
Yeah.
Good.
His main concern that he expressed to me was just the worry that it could come again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine too. Yeah.
Sounds like he had very good care. I talked to him some and he got treated fairly promptly and they gave him a clear diagnosis. They spotted an area of brain that was changed and got him squared away pretty fast.
They said he was only in the hospital 2 days.
Right.
So you all have that to look forward to.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Sure, sure.
Kind of interesting that Candice Bergman had second billing. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody,
Really?
so many actors, and they all had such kind of short parts in a way, except for Kingsley. And I mean, Bergman, she was in it. Bergen, she was in it. And probably she did deserve second billing. I mean, but didn't seem like she was in it that much.
No, I think she was hotter than a firecracker at the
At
time.
that time, yeah. Yeah, it was just bringing another name in.
I don't think she was even in the whole first half of it.
No,
Correct. She wasn't, yeah.
It
She
was
showed up when
post
Life
intermission.
magazine got interested.
Does it seem like it was 40 years ago?
Jeez.
40.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does.
I mean, it feels like a really old movie,
Really?
I mean, not like it's that, I don't mean that in a negative way, but it just seems like, yeah, I've known, I remember watching this movie so ago, and yeah. And then the actors that are either dead now or super old, it's like, oh, look how young they are,
Yeah.
Yeah. Kingsley
Like
looked
Candace
really-
Bergen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like I watched Saturday Night Live and it was a repeat from Christmas and she looked older than hell and they were doing the Five Timers Club.
So the makeup guy that did Kingsley's stuff had to be amazing because he looked like such a young upstart guy on the train. I mean, he
Yeah.
looked like a fresh out of law school guy. And by
Yeah.
the end, the guy behind Bill is an old man and
Yeah.
really had, I mean, part of that is his ability to adopt movement patterns and things.
Right.
But part of it was just amazing makeup.
He's
I
an
gotta-
amazing actor and makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, that's the thing that, and I'm not sure the movie brings this out as well as it could. The first 2 decades of his activism were not in India, they were in
Right.
South
Yeah.
Africa.
South
South
Africa.
Africa, yeah.
Just cutting his teeth.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it shows this as his first movie.
Oh, Kingsley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it said
that's right.
introducing.
Came off the stage and did this.
Oh, okay.
Everything downhill from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been in.
John, did you not pay your power bill? Do you not know where to send your check
Yeah.
for electricity?
Why? I'm sitting in the dark.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm literally sitting in a bedroom with no lights on. So yeah.
These are clandestine.
Are you hiding from someone, John?
Our kids were here with 2 3-year-old twins. So
Ah,
I had to retreat.
I can talk to somebody at the power company if you need a boost in your
Thanks,
electricity.
Gary. I just remember.
we could
I
all
know-
pitch in, you know.
I know where your meter is.
Did you guys talk about March basketball yet? Have we
Little bit. Just a little
Yeah.
bit.
Little bit.
where do you think it's going?
I think it's
Nowhere.
Florida. I don't know.
Here we go.
Very. Oh, hey.
Hey, John.
No.
I could see myself just fine.
You mean the winner
Well, I mean, who's left?
or the lack of mid-level Cinderellas?
Oh,
Are there
yeah,
any left?
that's my
Is there a
guess.
Cinderella
Yeah.
left? Arkansas is
Arkansas.
like the closest thing to a Cinderella, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, NIL has killed that train.
Yeah.
Tough to bet against Florida, I think.
Yeah. And Duke.
Yeah, I like Florida.
I missed that game yesterday, and I'm married to a Gator.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were trying to record it, and John's wife kept sending us texts like, "Don't do that." All right.
Okay.
Sorry I was late. Sorry to interrupt.
Who's got the next pick?
Yeah. Donna,
You know, if it
Donna,
is
I
me,
think.
if it's me, I didn't realize that. So I will get, well, let me.
Got 2 weeks.
Yeah. or
Yeah, that's
more.
right. But one thing, okay, I think this absolutely should be the best picture. Did anybody see Nora?
Sure.
I know.
Talk about that.
Does anybody, Gary, you can't possibly think that was best picture.
No, but I understood why it won. I don't
I
think
have no
the
idea
best-
why, compared to Amelia Perez, but anyway, we won't go there.
Well, don't make us
But
watch
you
it.
know what?
That's the
I'd
best.
love
word ever.
everybody's input on it. It's free on Hulu, I think.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
is?
It is.
Yeah. So,
Is that your
Any-
pick? Nora
yeah,
is
I'll
your
pick
pick?
that. So because I was, yeah. Yeah, I'll pick that and see what you guys think.
I mean,
Does
we
anybody-
kicked this around last week, and I thought the best argument was, I think Gary brought it up, but it was the Amelia Perez was on the track to winning it and got
I know.
herself in trouble, and they
Culture, yeah.
but I don't know. I
Cancel
don't know how the
culture.
voting works. I mean, Brutalist was well constructed. I just thought it was long and and all that, but seemed deserving to me,
Who all has seen Honora? Just Bill and me?
And
That's
me.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Strap-
right. Yeah, just be aware that, well, you guys know what it's about, pretty much, I assume.
Well, she
Anyway.
won.
You didn't like it. Why are you picking it?
Well, I didn't like it, but I'm surprised. I mean, Gary did, and that's
You
what I'm
can
really
email us
surprised at.
another choice.
That's not a reason to pick it.
That's
No.
not a reason to pick it. Yeah.
No, but I
What-
would like to get your, because am I totally wrong on this? I mean, I really think there's no comparison. I can't even, there isn't one thing I can find in there that I can see should be there for Best Picture. Nothing.
And you think Amelia Perez was the best picture?
Yes, by
Okay.
far.
Well,
Yes.
then you would have to arm wrestle with Karen, who thought it wasn't worth the celluloid.
Well, but Karen, you didn't like it because you thought it said something about Mexico that was, I mean, it's a movie. That's how I look at it. Karen didn't like it because it said something about Mexico that they thought it wasn't correct for the people of Mexico or something like that.
It was kind of ridiculous too.
Ridiculous? Well,
It's a
Just the format of just breaking into song and
Yeah. but that's what made it so
kind of-
good, at least I thought.
It was kind of Bollywood meets France
Yeah.
meets.
But we
Exactly.
had to watch that one already. Do we have to watch Honora too? I mean,
Well,
it's
you
just-
don't have to. I mean, I
seriously.
can pick something else that I really like.
You can pick
Yeah,
whatever you
go
want.
with Plan B.
It's your
Yeah.
pick.
All right.
Your
was
pick.
Amelia Perez a pick?
No.
Yes, I
No.
picked that.
We
Yes.
just talked about it a lot.
No,
No, it
you
was a
had
pick.
it.
I watched it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, no, that was.
I
was
picked
the
it
pick,
as
wasn't it?
because I thought it was so good in such a different genre and such a different kind of film,
Yeah, and they got it out there on Netflix early too.
right? And most people liked it. But yeah, I'll pick something. Or I'll go back to Honora just to see what you guys think. But I'd like to hear what you guys think when you do see it.
It
When you
won more
have
than
everything
one
in it.
Oscar. Didn't it win like 4 or 5 Oscars?
Yes.
She won for
yes,
Best Actress.
Best actress,
Yes.
best director,
Yes.
best
Yeah.
film
Yes.
editing.
It won all of that. And I've never, ever gone against Best Pictures as much as I went against this one. But that's just my take on it.
Are we meeting the first and third Mondays?
Yeah.
Is that?
April
Yes.
7th. April
Okay.
7th.
All right.
4 o'clock your time.
Your reason to get away early.
And Donna and I talked about this before the meeting, but if you haven't spent some time with adolescents, you need to.
Yeah, very good.
Some people that we spent a couple days with, or a night with a couple days ago, said it was watchable. I mean, I know it's very intense.
What kind of an endorsement is that? Well, you can
What was what?
Not very
It's a
good.
ringing
Oh, that's just
endorsement.
like the minimum. Like, well, you can watch it.
It's watchable.
No.
Well-
Because I think it's all shot in one reel, right?
Yeah.
It's like nonstop.
Yeah, each of the 4 episodes is shot that way.
Yeah. It's you can't take your eyes off it. Maybe that'd be a better way to describe it, Karen.
Yeah,
Much-
instead of saying like, you won't hate this.
You can't take your eyes off it. Maybe that's
Sounded like it.
better.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
very good. Very, very good.
What's the
And-
name of it?
Adolescent.
Adolescence.
It's on Netflix.
Netflix, okay.
And if you want a real light, fun, just light and fun kind of murder mystery comedy, it's called The Residents. And
Heard good things about that one. Yeah.
it's really good. I liked it, and it's funny and it's interesting. It's kind of a Sherlock Holmes, Agatha Christie. There's a murder in the White House, and the best
Yeah.
detective in the world comes to solve the mystery. So it's just one of those fun ones. So okay, I will
like a movie of the
decide.
week.
Pardon me?
Sounds like a movie of the week.
Yeah,
Up to 2
it is
weeks.
it's kind of fun. Just fun. I will decide what movie. Either it will be a Nora or it won't, and I'll let you guys know this week. Because it's not one of my favorites at all.
Well, you should pick a movie that you then want to defend.
Well,
and
I can defend why I think it should not be. I
Let
can
it go.
absolutely.
Let it
I
go.
absolutely can
Let it
tell you why it
go.
shouldn't be, but I'd like you guys to tell me why it should be. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what I don't, I mean, I can see if you like it, fine, if you,
Yeah,
but best actress?
I mean, people should debate on why.
Hey,
the
Cher
Academy-
won Best Actress for Gary's favorite movie.
That's
So-
right.
What? No, what did she win? I'm sorry, I missed that. What?
I said Cher won Best Actress for
Yes, that's
you know?
right. Well, yes.
And there are those that would say, you know, she shouldn't have.
Snap out of it. Yeah.
Should we debate Saving Private Ryan again?
No.
Let that go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too.
But I'll figure out something and get it to all of you. And we'll see. Because I would like you guys to tell me what you think about that movie. And maybe I just got it all wrong.
So Mahoney, heads up, you're up next.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay.
All right.
Anybody
All
got
right,
any
that's that.
other films?
Just saw The Black Bag.
Black
Oh,
Bag.
yeah.
Was it
What's
good?
that about?
British MI6 spy intrigue. Kate Blanchett
Oh,
and
that's right.
can't think of his name right now.
Is this where they send the secret war strategy to the
Michael.
editor of the Atlantic magazine? Is that?
No, I don't think that's it,
Is it
Gary.
Michael,
Yeah.
Michael?
Fast
But
and
that's going to be the sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starring Jeffrey Goldberg.
Exactly.
Oh, Wicked. I forgot about that. You guys have all seen Wicked.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
Waiting
No.
for two.
Nope.
Isn't there a second one coming?
Yeah,
Yeah,
November or something like that.
yeah.
Wickeder.
Continued, yeah.
Wickedest. All
Yeah.
right. You guys take care.
All
Hey,
right.
Mike Mahoney, how was the parade?
The parade was good. It was on a Monday, which is real light. We had gorgeous weather here. It was 75, 76 degrees. So yeah, it went off pretty well.
Big crowd?
Not really. Monday crowds are not very big by tradition, and so that was,
You can
at least by me, that was expected. But we had gorgeous weather, and
bread.
Was Pete involved with that too?
Pardon me?
Was Pete involved with that?
Yeah. Pete was working on the other end of the parade for me. I worked down at the end, getting the floats out of the parade route and onto the street, and he was up at the top.
Are you required to do it on the 17th, or could you have done it on the 15th or 16th?
We could have done it on the 17th, on the 15th or 16th, but they tried to force the parade onto the weekend prior. And when I was the chair, I fought it tooth and nails and said St. Patrick's Day is on St. Patrick's Day. You don't move Christmas, and we're not moving St. Patrick's Day. There are other parades here in Kansas City that do take place over the weekend prior. In fact, I was the grand marshal for one of them.
But you wanted it on the 17th.
Correct.
Okay. So you're the reason there was a small crowd.
Which one were you the grand marshal on?
I was the grand marshal of the Belton parade.
Belton. Was
Yeah.
that on Saturday?
That was on Saturday evening, the 15th. Yeah. Late in the
I asked them
afternoon.
all if they saw you at the Brookside one. They didn't. So that
Yeah.
must be why.
I don't know. There's a big parade here north of the river in North Kansas City. There's the Brookside Parade. Both those are on Saturday. There's another parade on Sunday in Martin City. I think Blue Springs has a parade that was on Saturday. Shawnee, I think, has a parade that was on Saturday. There are a lot of little parades.
My son was in San Antonio and they they dye the river there green. And I guess they did everything on Saturday or Sunday. And he said it was there on Monday. And he said everything felt like it had been lightly wiped down. It was still sticky.
I saw that. Did you guys see that video that Bill sent out from, I don't know when that was.
A couple weeks ago.
No, I mean, what year it took place where Mahoney
The
was interviewed.
interview, you mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't even recognize Pete. I could tell it was his voice, but
Yeah, that was
They look like kids.
that was quite a few years ago.
All right, we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks.
It was like
All
5
right.
years
All
ago.
right, everybody.
You all.
All right.
all right.
Take
Bye.
care.
See
See y'all.
Take care.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.